Hi, I'm Tony Constantine, an investment advisor representative with LifeMark Securities Corp. The views that I express on these videos are my views alone and do not necessarily reflect those views of LifeMark Securities Corp. That being said, today I want to talk to you a little bit about investor education. In short, there is none. If you're like me, you went through high school, never got a bit of it. Went through college, had it mentioned a couple of times in an econ class, but that was it. Other than that, no education at all. So if you're like me, you're going to go out and probably buy a book thinking that, well, if I buy a book either by Warren Buffett, on Warren Buffett, or about Warren Buffett, I might learn something. And I did. I learned that I had to comprehend what I read. In short, it was a book of 50 quotes from Warren Buffett, who is arguably one of the best investors around. He started with basically very little and wound up managing hundreds of billions of dollars, and does quite a good job of it too. Anyway, I thought for today what we would do was I would give you two of the quotes from the book, give you an opportunity to write down what you thought they said, then come back to the video and I would tell you what my interpretation was and see how close you come. Okay? So the first quote: when the tide comes in, it raises all the boats in the harbor. When the tide goes back out, well, that's when we find out who's been skinny dipping. Okay? Now again, when the tide comes in, it raises all the boats in the harbor. When it goes out, that's when we find out who's been skinny dipping, or basically leaving their rear end exposed when they're in a down market. All right, so pause the video, write your answer down, and then come on back. Welcome back. Again, the quote: when the tide comes in, it raises all the boats in the harbor. When the tide goes out, well, that's when we find out who's been skinny dipping. Now, I don't know what your answer is, but I'm going to give you my answer, and you can compare it to yours. Then I'll explain my answer a little bit, and we'll go from there. Okay, when the tide comes in, it raises all the boats in the harbor. When it goes back out, that's when we find out who's been skinny dipping. Well, there are times when the market is going up, like it recently has. Okay, we should be in the market and participating in that rise. When the tide goes back out, like it did, it's done it several times, most notably back in 2007 to 2009. Lost about 55% back then. That's when we found out who'd been skinny dipping, who wasn't paying attention. Okay? So what did it mean to you? To me, it means that we should be invested for the long haul, participating in the up markets, but we have to have tactics and strategies available when the market turns, so that we're able to reduce our risk and minimize our losses in a down market. Okay? Because they're going to happen. Market goes up and the market goes down. Okay, it's invest for the long haul, but have tactics and strategies available for when the market goes down. If that does not match your answer, perhaps you should rethink it. All right, now for the second quotation from Warren Buffett. Okay, and it's related to the first one, believe it or not. My favorite holding period is forever. All right, my favorite holding period is forever. pause the tape, write down your answer, and then come back. Welcome back once again. Okay, now the quotation was, my favorite holding period is forever. So look at your answer and listen to mine. Mine is, we always invest most effectively when we invest for the long term. However, the market changes, and it'd be nice to invest and just hold something forever, but it's impossible because the market changes. It goes up, it goes down. Some stocks do better this year, some will do better next year. Everything changes. So we have to be ready for those changes and take advantage of them and protect ourselves in down markets and keep our risk as low as possible. Okay? Now you may disagree with those, but those are the way I read them. And I've been in the business for 30 years now, and it's worked pretty well for me. If you interpret things differently, you have the right to do that, but perhaps you should rethink what you're doing and why you're doing it and how you're doing it, because you may not be doing it in the best way for yourself. Okay? Now, I would recommend that you get somebody who has the ability to interpret these things and put them into practical strategies and tactics for you, help you with that, so that you are able to take advantage of everything that happens in the market, or most things that happen in the market anyway. But basically, most people need an advisor to help them understand this. You don't think in financial terms or investment types of terms all day, every day, like an advisor does. All right? So bear that in mind. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or want to have a discussion because you disagree with me, that's fine. My contact information will be on the screen in a few moments. So please go ahead and feel free to call or email me. Come back next week, however, for our next exciting adventure in investing. Until then, make every day a great day.